Momentum 3 Bluetooth headphones. Had a busy day at work today. Fell asleep with these bad boys last night. I've had them for about a year now. Sennheiser. Easy to connect. They got the left and the right, which is always handy, just in case you don't know. And sometimes I don't know. These sound spectacular for a closed back headphone, and they are excellent for music listening, podcasting, anything you want, really. I think they're actually pretty good. I got them on sale. I don't even know what the real price is, but I think they compare around $400 Canadian. I don't know. The wires are weird. The adjustments are kind of cool. They've got them on this. The clamping force is perfect, especially if you don't have a hat on or anything like that. What are my thoughts? Like, what can I compare them to? I cannot compare these to the Sony XM5s. Simply, they might be more musical. But they noise canceling, nope, they don't have it. They're not nearly as good. Plus the pads are not nearly as comfortable. The Sonys will make you sweat. These don't really make you sweat. So that's a plus on the Sennheiser Momentum 3s. Of course, the Momentum 4s are out right now, but after I heard the Momentum 3s, and now that I've actually listened to headphones that you can plug into an amplifier, because these you actually can plug into an amplifier via that, which is a 2.4, which threads in typical Sennheiser unit. No, they're not worth plugging in. They're not like a 600 HD. They're just not. I don't know. I'm going to give these about a 3.5 out of 10. They're musical, but if I'm going to listen to music, I think I'm going to go with the 600 HDs. The bass is okay. Mid bass is great. Vocals are great. Music is great in general. But I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it as being the headphone of choice. I don't know if it competes in the Bose or the Sony category for people walking around listening to headphones. I just don't. I think the noise canceling is what ruins it for this. I think it's the noise canceling that ruins it for just about every headphone out there, including the heavies that I reviewed the other day. They just don't have the noise canceling that the Sonys or the Bose do. And sorry, but Sony is better than Bose. That's the XM5s versus the 700s. And they're a common, not everybody knows headphone, but they're common enough to buy in a Best Buy. They're common enough to buy in a local electronic shop. And now the Sony has the XM6, 1000 XM6, and I think they're only going to be just better. Sony has, I don't know what Sony has done. They've upped their game on their amplifiers. They disappeared off the planet for a while. They've upped their game on their headphones. They've just upped their game. I'm not saying that Sennheiser does not run with these, but if you're going to be picking a headphone to, listen to music on your way to work, be careful wearing the Sonys because you might get hit by a truck because you will not hear anything but what you're listening to. With these, you won't get hit by a truck because the noise canceling isn't good enough. So that might be important to some people. The headband is somewhat comfortable. I fell asleep with it on, actually, and it didn't really bother me. So, I mean, it's pretty good. It's cheaper than the Sony. So, it's a good enough headphone to buy. I mean, it's just not a good enough headphone for me. It's good enough headphone for me if I'm downstairs and there's nothing else going on. But it's not a good enough headphone for me if I'm, say, trying to do something and my wife's watching TV and I'm just not interested in her show. Well, that's where the Sony XM5s would come in. Like, she could yell at me and I still don't hear her. She could yell at me with these and I can hear her. So I actually choose these, or I choose the Monsters, because sometimes, because my wife is ill and has some issues, I actually choose those headphones so I can actually overhear what might be going on outside of my, world. Because once you're immersed in music or immersed in a podcast or immersed in something and you're wearing a pair of headphones and they're Sony XM5s, we'll give an example. I also have the 4s. The 4s even supersede the noise canceling in this. So I can only imagine what the XM5s are going to be like. Musicality, I think that maybe the Momentum 3s are a little bit better, but we're not always using headphones for music. We're using headphones for a lot of things these days, working on computers, podcasting. I like to fall asleep to headphones, especially if my wife is watching TV, because I can drown the sound out to the sound I want versus the sound I have to listen to, which is typically horror movies. And like I've told you before in many videos, I don't like horror movies. I'm never going to like horror movies. Horror movies can pound sand. I'm not interested in them. Momentum 3s, I know the Momentum 4s are out. Am I going to purchase them? That's a probably not, unless I can do a demo. If I can do a demo, I would. I did a demo the other day actually on 569s. 569s. They were on sale at my local headphone shop, and I didn't pick those up either. They reminded me of these. If anything, they're the same headphone, really. You can disagree with me in the comments. It's fine. They're just... Nothing beats an open back headphone if you're going to listen to music and you have a headphone amplifier or a preamp or an amplifier that you can plug them into that's 300 ohms or better. I believe that a headphone should be 300 ohms minimum to be spectacular. And that's just my opinion. I don't know. I think the Bluetooth headphones have their own place, and that's for the youth and, even people my age that want to walk around town listening to music and or jogging or whatever. But I mean, if I was jogging, I'd probably be wearing earbuds, but I can't really wear earbuds. I get ear infections. And I don't do a lot of jogging because there's more steel in my leg than you can shake a stick at. I don't think I could get through an airport metal detector. Never mind, it's all titanium. But they'd see it in an x-ray. My x-ray is actually quite disgusting. And it left me handicapped for life, but I still work every day. It doesn't matter. Would I buy them? Yeah. If I was looking for a deal on headphones and I just wanted to listen to music and not get hit by a bus, Momentum 3s. Probably Momentum 4s too. They don't take a lot of power to drive. There's no point plugging these into anything. Doesn't improve the sound quality, doesn't improve anything. They're good enough Bluetooth, in my humble opinion. Bluetooth has come a long way. It's not exactly my preferred way of using or listening to anything, but when it comes to podcasting, I'm just listening to voices. I'm not listening to Chocolate Chip Trip or some crazy Fifth Symphony of whoever. But anyway, that's the Momentum 3s. Hope you have a good day. If you like the video, subscribe. I've got 100 subscribers now, so that's good. Thank you so much.